Good afternoon, my friends. This is the Grimflayer. Hope you're all doing very well today, and I hope you are ready for a very spicy modern donation league that we are bringing to you from Patreon supporter Pete, and we have decided to call his list Treacherous Golgari. So we're going to do a quick deck tech. We're going to tell you what Pete's thought process behind this list is, and then we're going to go straight into another live recorded league for your fun and edification. Hopefully, we'll see how it all goes. Edification and entertainment, as I usually say. So, the first thing I gotta say is that this is a toned-down version of the one that Pete initially submitted to me. We do have a high curve package, and the kind of signature package of the deck, it's mostly a pretty normal rock shell, but we've got 2 copies of Vraska Golgari Queen alongside 2 copies of Treacherous Blessing. This is really what's unusual. So, Treacherous Blessing, 3 mana enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, draw 3 cards. Seems really good. Plus, it's an enchantment, so if it goes to the graveyard, it can grow the Tarmogoyf. We like it so far, but whenever you cast a spell, you lose 1 life. However, whenever it becomes the target of a spell or ability, sacrifice it. So the idea here, of course, is that you've got a 3 mana draw 3, and then you can mitigate the downside with a Vraska Golgari Queen. You can tick up to sacrifice it. You're netting 4 cards total. You're remaining neutral on life, even if you had to cast Vraska after the fact, after you've already resolved this. And you've got a Planeswalker sitting around on 6 loyalty who's got a repeatable abrupt decay effect, so obviously this can be really good if it lines up, but make no mistake, we're not trying to say that this is the new Tier 1 meta, this is the new thing to do in Rock to the exclusion of other things. This is just kind of a unique approach to having a little bit of a wombo combo at the top end, generating card advantage in a different way. It's something that Pete is interested in exploring, but as I say, this is a toned-down version of the list he gave me. I believe the initial list had 2 copies of Thrun, which is a kind of pet card of his that's been dominating his local meta. You'll love to hear that. I think it had a 3rd Treacherous Blessing, and it also, I do know, was only on 23 lands, and some of this more top-end stuff. There were also, these 2 Plague Engineers used to be main deck, and this came at the expense of like a discard spell, a brutality, and a Scooze in a land, relative to what you see here. So I did bring to him a few different ways to modify the deck, because I just think if your meta's like all mid-range in control, then loading down on the top-end advantage while only still playing 23 lands is probably going to be pretty amazing. But in the MTGO meta, we've got to be able to stay alive in the early game long enough to leverage the Treacherous Golgari combo, right? So, to that end, from the list that Pete submitted me, I did add a 24th land in the form of a Nurturing Peat land. We added back the traditional 6th discard spell. We put a 3rd Ooze and a Brutality back in, just for the exact reasons I mentioned. And we did also shuffle the Plague Engineers over to the side. We had some freedom with the sideboard, so we decided to basically follow suit with my recent lists, but of course making accommodations for what else is going on, and also the fact that, of course, unlike Plague Rock, we need Plague Engineer spaces in the sideboard, right? So we got a couple 3-ofs, a couple 2-ofs, and a lot of 1-ofs in the sideboard. I like the way the sideboard is configured, and let's just read you Pete's thoughts on the list as we are getting right into our first league. So, let's see here. Boom. Show you the list again as we find our opponent. So Pete says he hasn't had time to sit down and really test this because he doesn't play online, and he's a very hardworking guy working 2 jobs. I can relate. And, so partially for fun and partially to have me kind of do the legwork for him in a way, see how this little package of Treacherous Blessing, Vraska Golgari Queen plays out. That's why he wanted to get down on the donation league here. And let's see here. This might be blasphemous to many of you. Frankly, kind of is to me, but he does not like Dark Confidant. He doesn't like Bob. And there's certainly lots of downsides to leaning too hard on Dark Confidant. We'll keep this hand, by the way. So Pete is, therefore, branching out and exploring different sources of card advantage that, and that's exactly what we're up to here. He's also excited to see Thrun in action, so we had to make room for the One of Thrun main deck. It's been dominating his local meta. He has a lot of blue-white control, Jund, Shadow, and Burn at his local meta, so that's why Thrun's been so good. That's why his deck's been performing so well, and he has gone 4-0 the last 2 times he played, so he hopes that his luck is transferable, so thank you so much, Pete. Really appreciate it, and let's play some Treacherous Golgari. Opponent has mulliganed and has gone turn 1 Utopia Sprawl, so I suppose we are against some kind of ramp deck. I traditionally think Ponza when I see Utopia Sprawl, but these days, who really knows? So we're going to Thoughtseize, and then unfortunately we can't stop a land destruction effect. We'll take the Stone Rain. I guess that's better because it forces them to fetch and shock here, probably. But if we just, keep hitting land drops, obviously they just mulligan down just about to Oblivion. Having a Thoughtseize there was very good. Alright. So no more land destruction effects. We're very soft to that. We're very soft to Blood Moon. But if we can just resolve Tarmogoyf even, which we can, then we are looking okay. Still really need to draw a 3rd land so we can become operational. But Goyf is big game in this matchup, as you may know. Opponent bolts the Goyf, but there was no instant in the yard that they had the double bolt. Okay, so it wasn't a punt, it was just their answer. Alright, so once more they've 2-for-1 themselves. So their mulligan takes them even deeper. They've basically mulliganed again. The big problem for us is that we haven't drawn the replacement 3rd land. And we cannot currently cast anything in our hand. The Field of Ruin kind of killing us, but there we go, guys. There it is. So we found the 3rd land. What do we do with it? I'm kind of inclined to go Liliana of the Veil. I do think we're supposed to answer the Arbor Elf. They could have a 4 or 5 drop stuck in hand. And this is probably just the safest way to do it while continuing to guarantee value more or less no matter what else happens. Also, if they do manage to stick a Blood Moon and the game gets really weird, we can maybe lean on Liliana for an ultimate. Uh-oh. Tracker, but no land, thankfully. Thankfully. And we draw the 4th land of our own. So we're going to begin by ticking up. Our hand is awesome now. I guess we're going to pitch the excess Liliana. Get a Bloodbraid out of their hand, nice. So I think what we want to do here is play Vraska, take down to kill the Tracker, then next turn we get the Wombo combo with Treacherous Blessing. Seems good. So often if you only have the opportunity to fetch 1 basic against a Blood Moon deck, you should consider making it Forest just so you can cast Goyf underneath it. But in this case, really doesn't seem necessary to me. We want to make sure we're resolving this Treacherous Blessing, right? So let's begin with that. Seems really fun. Pretty cool that we get to do this right out of the gates, right? So ETB, draw 3. I didn't play a single practice game with this deck, by the way. So I've never actually executed this before. But now we take Vraska up, sack this. Seems really good. Seems really, really good. Now I suppose we go get another basic. Unfortunately, we drew our 1 of Marsh Flats and not any of the others. But that's alright. We're going to decay the Tracker. We're going to tick Lily up. Losing our Thoughtseize. And pretty much can't lose from here. But opponent looks like they're... If they played it out this far, we can maybe expect them... No, never mind. Alright, well, there we go, guys. Mission accomplished. Round 1, game 1, we pull off the combo. Treacherous Blessing, or rather, Vraska into Treacherous Blessing, which is even more ideal than the inverse. So that was really, really good. That was pretty cool, I'm not going to lie. So against Ponza, traditionally I plan to sideboard very conservatively. We don't tend to have all that much that's relevant, and our main deck's also pretty good. So Collective Brutality to take away the land destruction spells and kill Arbor Elf is reasonable, but it's also a lot better on the play than the draw. We don't want Fulminator because they're almost always going to put Utopia Sprawls onto a basic land. Again, yeah, there's really not that much that we can do here. Shadow Spear is kind of cool, I guess, just simply because it's, like, castable and usable under Blood Moon. I don't know if we want it, though. Kitchen Finks is good against a green-red deck, but this is more likely to get shut off by Moon than anything else in our entire deck. So we have, like, one card we're probably bringing in and then 2 maybes. You know, if they show us certain things, Plague Engineer's fine. Plague Engineer's also better on the play to kill the elves, but I don't think I'm probably going to change all that much. I think the Vraska Treacherous Blessing package here is really good. Thrun's awkward against Moon and Land Destruction, but he's pretty good against their deck. I think I'm definitely cutting a Scooz for Brutality. Might honestly just cut another Scooz, but I don't really think I want either of these cards, do I? Do we really just make only one change? I think I might make only one change until we see more. There's conservative sideboarding, and then there's that. I don't think I've ever, on this channel before, sided in only one card. I always build my lists where we have, like, at least 2 things to do in any given matchup, but certainly Ponza's not really on anyone's radar right now. Certainly wasn't on mine when we designed this. Opponent will mull. Unfortunately, we got a 0-lander to throw back. OP mulling to 5. Well, we are just basically dead to Blood Moon, but with them going all the way down to 5, I think we're just keeping a functional hand. Bottoming 1 Liliana, and having Fatal Push to kill the early Arbor Elf if that's what they're on. Beautiful. And we have the 3rd land, so all we have to do now is Fade Blood Moon, and we should be all set. Okay, they have another Arbor Elf. We draw Basic Forest. That's a real nice draw. Our life total matters enough for me to want to play the Tomb there, but I considered just running out Marsh. We don't want to expose the Basic Forest till we have to. They have the Moon, so that's pretty rough, right? It's pretty rough. But at least we're not totally cold. We do have the Basic. And all we can do is go on the tracker plan. They only have 1 card left in hand. Let's hope it's not... Now we have to fade removal, we have to fade bombs. They can have duplicate Blood Moons, which are dead. Would be nice to fade land destruction on our forest, too. So, you know, lots of scary things out of Ponza. Sure enough, they have a Stone Rain. Oh, no! They have Oh, they have both? Okay, we're probably just dead. Very kind of, something gameplay out of Ponza. Maybe I won't say exactly what I think about it. Not our favorite. Not our favorite. They're only showing me 1 damage per turn, so I can't really scoop, but I want to. Right? Okay, they're showing me Tracker. It's going to be hard to come back from if they find a land before we find a castable anything. So if they show me a land here, it's probably going to be packing it in. Okay, so they had the Blood Moon. Exactly what we needed them not to have. Ooh, Bloodbraid and a Tracker. Good enough for me. Even if they never find another land, we're not coming back from this. Alright, well, there you go, Ponza. There you go. Doing its thing. Yeah, I mean, we could have mulled to 5-2 to play a little bit better around a Blood Moon, either by finding more basics, but we did end up with one, or discard. But look, I think it's just as likely they top deck that Blood Moon. I don't know. Unless we got a really nutty 5, we might be losing that one too, especially given what they continued finding off the top. So on the play, I'm a little more interested in Plague Engineer. Plague Man is also fairly castable under Blood Moon. Finks is also just something that we are more likely to be able to resolve before those types of effects kick in. I think I'm gonna get rid of Thrun. A little too clunky here. We're gonna be more proactive on the play. I don't think there's much else I want to cut. I'm considering just cutting another Scooz. Scooz is just very, very poor overall. So do we want one Finks, one Plague Man, or just straight up 2 Plague Man? I think we're just going to play the Plague Engineers here. Try to really punish their early progressions in any way we can. So we're looking for a hand that has natural resilience to the Ponza stuff, the Blood Moon and the land destruction, and or has discard effects. Okay. This one doesn't really have either, but it does have Fatal Push on the play. And it's got like a really good 1-2-3 curve of stuff we want to see. This is a hand I definitely keep if they mulligan. We don't beat their nutty 7s with this, especially if they're on Utopia Sprawl. But, I mean, the prospect of Liliana is very, very enticing. I'm going to keep it, but it is borderline AF. Okay, don't play Utopia Sprawl. Uh-oh. Little scary. Alright. Playing the Goyf. Maybe they'll feel priced into dealing with it while they can before he gets the sorceries make him bigger. They play another Utopia Sprawl. And a Lightning Bolt. Alright, well at least we're getting our Liliana down. Man, more Fields of Ruin, really? Alright, all in on this Lily. Our top decks have been about as bad as you could imagine. Live to top deck, more good threats, a fetch land, a basic land, discard spells. Even something like Abrupt Decay would be interesting here, maybe consider playing a little more reactively, but we get a Bloodbraid Elf out of their hand. Gruul Spellbreaker. Okay. As long as it's your turn, you and Gruul Spellbreaker have hexproof. That's pretty rough. That is pretty rough. So it's just something Fatal Push cannot cleanly deal with. So we're going to tick up and we're going to clearly pitch Blooming Marsh. We get Ilharg the Razeboar out of their hand? Okay, this is a different kind of Ponza than I'm used to. I think we're supposed to crack Peatland here, because that does give us Revolt here. Yeah. Okay, basic forest could be interesting, but of course we are just kind of flooded at the same time. Well, we've gotten plenty of gas out of their hands. Let's hope they don't have another Gruul Spellbreaker. Pillage on Blooming Marsh, sure. We draw another Blooming Marsh. The Flood, man, the Flood. Okay, Field of Ruin, the clear pitch here. What we play is actually very interesting. Forest is a more valuable card to play, in general. But if we're in a position where we draw a reactive card next turn that we want to hold, we want a more expendable land to pitch next turn, right? But like most reactive cards we can use, so I think we'll just conceal our Forest, play the Blooming Marsh, and attack. Obviously, there were considerations to sit back in case they drew another Gruul Spellbreaker, but if they had that, they would have used it last turn, right? Okay, Stone Rain again. Well, it's pretty annoying stuff. Okay, we just have no choice here but to pitch our extraneous Liliana. And the Treetop Village is getting angrier. They're not respecting the treetop. They haven't destroyed it yet. Wormcoil Engine was in their hand? Holy crap, this seems like such a bad matchup, but they're not really doing their thing so much this game. Uh-oh. Shocking end. Do they have another Bloodbraid in hand? They sure do. What a tilt. Oh no, Bloodbraid into Blood Moon. Please. Alright, now we gotta draw like a Tarmogoyf. Let's draw a Tarmogoyf. Vraska Golgari Queen, huh? Oof. Oof. How tilting. I guess we're supposed to do nothing. Because we could draw Swamp. And then Vraska's, like, okay. Not really good, but okay. Really, we need to draw a Goyf. We just need to draw a Goyf now. We drew the Swamp? Yo, pretty epic, not gonna lie. Not gonna lie. Fortunately, we cannot deal with Bloodbraid Elf, but I guess we're just gonna tick up and keep drawing cards. I don't think we can afford to just trade with Blood Moon here. Yeah, we'll keep our second black land around, I guess, in case that matters. Okay, so we're operational. We have a lot more live draws now. Could have like a Bolt or something to finish off Vraska here, but... Uh-oh. Uh-oh, it's Tracker. Okay, it's Tracker, we draw Maelstrom Pulse. Think we're just going to pulse the Tracker, keep ticking Vraska up? Whoops, I should have floated first, I meant to. But we're pretty clearly pulsing anyway. Ooh, or are we? We drew Fatal Push. Yeah, so I should have floated because then we could consider pulsing and pushing. But as is, this is still pretty good. Yeah, it really just misclicked. Meant to float the colorless before, or the red rather, before we sack. Chandra Torch of Defiance. Well, now I think our misclick is going to actually help us, because we pretty clearly need to pulse that. It's a card we're not going to beat. This matchup seems so miserable, guys, I'm not going to lie. But we're in it. Yeah, we will. Yeah, Pulse the Chandra. Don't want him seeing more cards. I think I'm going to cash this one in. But do remember that you can just keep ticking up without having to cash in. But I like churning through the deck. I don't think that land's accomplishing all that much. Like, we just want to dig to more basics and more castable cards. Okay, so no sack here. Just jamming the 6/7 Goyf seems real good. That's what we've been waiting for. Opponent hesitating over the attack, 2 cards in hand, and they'll pass. Alright. I'm just going to Brutality the Elf. Going Collective Brutality for the life drain doesn't really do anything. I guess we're supposed to keep these other cards around too, so checking their hand is interesting, but doesn't seem necessary to me. So we're just going to kill. Tick up and attack. Uh-oh, 6 mana, now they cast something. Wormcoil Engine. This is such crap. Oh my god, it's such crap. We can beat it, but they go back to 11. And then we have to tick down and push. Such crap. Treacherous Blessing, Vraska combo at some point, maybe. Maybe we just play Skoos here instead of attacking and forcing the trade. What do we think about that? Like, how is there a real way we get punished for that? If they have another 6-drop, maybe that's kind of punishing, but really, like, what are we doing here otherwise? So why don't we play Skoos? And then I guess just tick up again, not sacking. Trinisphere? What? I mean, we can decay it with Vraska if we want to unlock some stuff. Alright, we take our block now. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Thoughtseize not really doing a great deal for us, is it? Yeah, I think we're priced into decaying the Trinisphere. Because otherwise we can't push. And I think pushing here is better than Thoughtseizing, but Thoughtseize is an interesting draw. Yeah, I think we have to defend what we have on board here. Please, please no more bombs, OP. If they send them both in, we are just trading off. Okay, let's eat your Worm Coil Engine. Don't want you somehow buying that back. Push the other worm. And we did it that way so they wouldn't gain any life. We draw Plague Engineer. Alright, can we just, like, draw a third land so we can get the combo online? That'd be sick. I'm going to Thoughtseize even though I don't think it's going to hit. It's just no reason not to at this stage. Oh, yeah, it'll hit. Okay. I don't even know what that card does, but let's take up and pass our turn, and then we'll look. God Eternal Eronus. ETB doubles the power of each other creature you control, gives them vigilance, and then the typical God Eternal thing. So this helps them go wide. Alright, another Blood Moon, don't care. Land, we did it. We did it, we did it. Alright, guys, we are comboing off again. Treacherous Blessing, draw 3, tick up, sack the Blessing. Back to you. Woohoo! Not out of the woods yet, because they have a million bombs in their deck, right? Okay, it's a tracker. We can kill it. How do we want to do so? Probably just with Abrupt Decay, we'll keep ticking Vraska up. So let's float. Let's cash in a land. Decay the tracker, play another land. It's about all we can do, but we can alt Vraska next turn if we want, and then for the rest of the game, anything connecting is lethal, which is probably worth doing. Alright, Arbor Elf? Sure. Yeah, so alt Vraska, play the Plague Man. Oh man. Alright guys, you know what? That was one of the most epic game ones I've had in a long time, especially considering that we're on an experimental build, and the experimental aspect of our build just went off twice in that first round. However else the league goes, and that's not me giving permission to the fates, by the way, to give us bad luck, but however else this league goes, that was a great round one. You love to win over a deck like Ponza, and you love to win in that fashion, especially when they're on stuff like, you know, all those top ends like Worm Coil Engine. Like, I don't know how often we're really realistically supposed to win through that as the game goes to turn 20 or whatever it did just now, so we did it. Good times. And round 2, we've won the die roll. It's a one-lander that doesn't function. Got 'em all. Okay. This one does function, and we're going to bottom our third land, because this is a really strong two-lander. And we are a 24 land deck. We are likely to hit the third land. Field of Ruin, probably not the third land we'd want anyway. Unless we're against Tron. Opponent, Once Upon a Time in response to our IOK. Well, it is a big mana deck, but it's not Tron. So they've only got a two-lander. So for that reason, I'm kind of interested in taking Sakura Tribe Scout in theory. But in practice, we can just kill it with Brutality. So I think I'm going to take Dryad of the Elysian Grove. But the thing about taking Tribe Scout is it allows us to simply go on the Goyf plan. But we can get the Pact out of their hand next turn with a Brutality. So I think we're going to take Dryad. Interesting spot, though. Goyf is already a 4-5 before our brutality resolves. Granted, brutality as things stand won't grow it anymore, but pretty cool that it's one turn has been played and Tarmogoyf's a 4-5. One player's one turn has been played. We're halfway through turn 1. Alright. Thoughtseize, sure. You know, now I kind of want to just jam Goyf. Because I don't want to lose... Yeah. I don't want to lose any other cards, and, like, the fact that we have double hand disruption now. It's pretty good, right? It's pretty good. So... I think this actually might have worked out better for us based on this draw specifically of Thoughtseize if we had taken something else besides Dryad. But that's alright. Okay, the third land's great here. I guess I'm going to Thoughtseize to kick things off. Okay, so they just didn't draw any other lands, so we're just gonna take Primeval Titan and then probably play another Goyf. Okay, they draw Talaria West. They will pass. Okay. I think Pulse is good enough for us to keep around, so let's just attack and then Brutality that Summoner's Pact out of their hand. Game. Alright, so we got pretty lucky there. They kept a one-lander with Once Upon a Time. They did find a second land off Once Upon a Time, but they didn't really find other lands until it was too late. So, Amulet Titan. A tough matchup. Not one we want to see, but we have Fulminators and Ashioks that are very good. And we could consider some Plague Engineer action as well. And, you know, a one of Collector Roof is really not the worst either. They do have some things that it hoses, and it might be just better than, like, a second Scooz if we end up siding out, like, 2 Scoozes here. So, this is a matchup where I think our top-end Wombo combo can be called into question. Let's just put all 5 of these cards over here. Thrun is kind of his own thing, but then this combo is not the greatest either. Probably siding out a couple Scoozes, Collective Brutality. The rest of the deck seems fine. Again, a tough matchup, for sure. We have still kind of a lot of medium cards left in, even after we do all that, but... Is it weird to want to leave in, like, one each of Vraska and Blessing? I think that's actually fine. Maybe even both Blessings, just because, like, our life total's somewhat free. What does it look like if we start by trying to do that? With only 2 Plague Engineer, I don't know how realistic it is to use him to beat Field of the Dead. Cut a Blessing and we'd look like that. Alright, let's run it like that. We'll see exactly what they're bringing to bear here, and hopefully we'll just roll over them easily again, and we don't need to worry about Game 3, but if we do, we can recalibrate. Ooh, this is a keep. It has no disruption until turn 3, but then it has all the disruption on turn 3, and it's only a 2-lander, but we don't throw back double Fulminate or double Ashiok. We just simply don't do it, especially when they mull. It's not like they're probably beating... Oh, I mean, hopefully probably not beating us right away. They did mull to an Amulet, though. Okay. I like running out Catacombs here because it bluffs Fatal Push, so they don't maybe, maybe they sequence a little bit differently if they're worried about this on Azusa. Yes. So now they might play a land without a trigger first, whereas otherwise they might play a land with a trigger. Doesn't matter much, though. They got the Azusa Amulet hand, so if they have the payoff, too, we're pretty dead. Okay. All the ramp. Just gotta fade a payoff. Yeah, probably actually should not have fetched there in case I draw Fatal Push right now. Okay, we draw Abrupt Decay. So this says lands you control... I haven't played against this card yet. Lands you control are every basic land type in addition to their other types. This counts the names, so I don't think Dryad makes Field better in that way. So I think we are just simply going to decay the Amulet of Vigor. Gives us the best chance of not dying next turn, I guess. And to that end, I will do it on their upkeep, in case they have Veil of Summer or whatever, because they had an untapped land last time. On the other hand, Ashiok is just going to kind of die to their beats if we don't decay a creature. So are we supposed to decay like Dryad here or something? I don't know. That's actually a really good question. Why don't we pivot to that? Why don't we try to decay the Dryad? Like, yes, it's worse if they have Titan and we left the Amulet around, but we're probably not beating turn 3 Titan on the play anyway. Ooh, they have another Amulet. I'm very glad I hit the Dryad. Very, very, very glad. Okay. So, now do we go Ashiok or do we go Fulminator? I think I kind of want to just blow up that Simic Growth Chamber. They draw a Radiant Fountain. Alright, so options here, Tracker into land. Might actually be our best. Sure. Hope we draw another untapped land next turn and we can start having double spell turns and winning the game. Awkward draw. So the safest thing to do, I think, is to play Fulminator Mage. But it would be really nice to crack a clue and hit a land and then play Fulminator, and if we fail to, we can play Goyf. I think I'm pretty much cool doing that. Should have done it before damage, of course. Alright. Well, we're failing here to hit our lands, but hopefully we don't get punished for it. Like, putting down two big threats that are diverse in CMC against a possible EE is very good, too. But we did leave the opportunity to put some hate on the table. Our best draw is still land. We have all the disruption we need. That's a good draw, too. We'll begin with a Thoughtseize. You know what? We should maybe actually begin with Fulminator Mage. That way, if they have Veil in response to our Thoughtseize, we can blow up a land. Okay, I kind of like that. So we tip our whole hand here right away, but I still kind of like the sequencing. Okay, another Amulet of Vigor. Just gonna hit this Breeding Pool. Opponent's at 9. And they drew Stomping Ground. And we've got Liliana Edict for the win. Absolute domination there of Amulet Titan. They didn't have good curve. Well, they had a really scary curve out. They just lacked a payoff. And then we were able to hit a couple Fulminators, set them back a ways. And yeah, we were rewarded for being proactive there. Obviously, that was a open question as to what to do there, but that was nice. That was real nice. Beating Amulet Titan on the play is very hard, even post-side, but we sure did it there. All right, well, Pete, my friend, your list is rocking so far, you gotta say. Hope you all are enjoying this. I certainly am having a whole lot of fun. I play a lot of different decks these days, but my favorite deck is still Green, Black, Rock, and Modern. And especially when it's kicking butt like this, nothing better. Nothing better. It's a keepable hand. I'm going to lead on Quagmire, even though it would be nice to hold up Push. Just with Arc 1, 2, 3, 4 curve and only 3 lands, it's just correct to get our tap land down almost certainly. In a blind game 1. Oh look, another Once Upon a Time deck. A lot of people have been asking me if this card is going to get banned. I will keep you posted. If I think this card is likely to get banned, I'll tell you. But as it is, I think it's on the watch list, and that's like as far as my opinions go. And it's another Titan deck, and it looks like Titan Field because it plays Arboreal Grazer. Now, I'm gonna let my client stop lagging. I absolutely hate this card. Like, the ramp that you cannot interact with except if you have an Inquisition or a Thoughtseize on the play, and if you have nothing better to take, is cancer. I'm sorry, it's just bad design. I hate this card. Put me on record as saying it. Don't think this card's good. Think it's actually a real problem in both Modern and Pioneer, personally. Now, your mileage may vary. I could be wrong, but that is that's my hot take. That's my hot take of the day. Unfortunately, we are drawing Skoozes here instead of Tarmogoyfs. Grazer, of course, blocking Skooz annoyingly well. Thoughtseize would be a good draw, because then we could get the Titan out of their hand and grow the Ooze at the same time. They Once Upon a Time into Field of the Dead, but they'll play Forest into another Monkey. I hate the Grazer. I hate the Grazer. Gotta draw Thoughtseize, we don't, but hey, you know what, at least we get to pulse these Grazers, which is actually still pretty bad. It's still pretty bad, but I think it's the right play. At least we get a 2-for-1. Like, technically that is a straight 2-for-1 in terms of card advantage, but of course the problem is they basically time-walked 2 turns as far as their mana development goes. But hey, we got a little equity back, right? Sakura Tribe Elder into Field of the Dead, so Titan is confirmed for next turn. Nothing we can do about it. Absolutely nothing we can do about it. We've got Field of Ruin. I guess that's the play. How do we want to go about fielding, though? Because we could hit Simic Growth Chamber and set them back to 5 lands. And maybe they don't have the 6th. I guess that's probably the play, and then play another Ooze. Not exciting, but we'll do it. I kind of want to field a Field of the Dead too, but, you know, like, they have 2. We're just going to lose to one of them, right? So I think we're supposed to try to keep them off of Titan here. Man, I wish we had a Thoughtseize. Also wish we weren't playing against Big Mana again, but there's Modern for you. Ponza, Titan have been our matchups so far. But hey, so far we're running the gauntlet. I'm going to get Swamp because I think it's better for potential double spell turns over the next couple turns, especially if we happen to draw Liliana. And if we really need another green source for Skoos, of course, we can get another basic with our Verdant Catacombs. But basically, just gotta hope they don't have another land in hand. Dryad of the Elysian Grove, Castle Garenbrig. Okay. So they didn't have double green for Castle this turn, which gives us a moment's reprieve, but not really, because we can't draw Thoughtseize. So I guess our play is to try to make one Skoos big enough to rumble, but again, we're just going to lose to Fields of the Dead. Truly hate the play patterns this deck generates, but I don't see any point in playing Vraska this turn, so let's just fetch this tapped. And I guess we're going to get in while the getting's good. Whatever one they don't block, we will pump. Let's leave the enchantment creature in there in case we draw a Tarmogoyf, but we'll eat the monkeys. Okay, they'll respond to our first trigger by doing this. Fair. Okay, the most linear win condition in all of Modern. Primeval Titan into Field of the Dead. I don't know. I don't know what our best draws are. We already used our Maelstrom Pulse. And it's not like pulses are really good out anyway, because you need to answer the Titan first, and then you need to, like, set up a wide enough board where you can pulse the zombies once and then alpha strike them, and they don't have any interaction that whole time, and no way to, like, make more zombies off field at instant speed and all that stuff, so it's not like if we had only saved our Maelstrom Pulse, we'd be in a good position. Really wouldn't be. I'm actually going to get up and use the bathroom while the opponent's thinking about what to grab with the Titan here. I'm back. Opponent got Valakut and whatever else, and we draw forests. So what are our outs? Maybe they begin by finding Assassin's Trophy right now for the Titan. Even so, I think we just die to Valakut. But whatever, we don't lose anything by showing them Vraska. It's not a good card against them anyway. So we're just gonna Vraska, cash something in, and then scoop, almost certainly. Okay, Thoughtseize, I will Thoughtseize for information before conceding the game. Okay. I'm not gonna say it anymore, but these Field of the Dead Primeval Titan decks, excuse me. I mean, is this really what we want Modern to be? I don't think most people would say yes. I don't know what the answer is, but there's a lot of problem cards in there, including maybe Titan itself, but Once Upon a Time Field both on the watch list, I would imagine. So, yeah, we got this, Field is a more primary win con in this deck than an Amulet Titan, so even though we only have 2 Plague Men, we still gotta play them both. I might actually try Shadow Spear just as a way to beat the zombies, you can trample over them and race them. I don't know. I've heard of worse ideas, right? Probably still want all this stuff, but in some ways I think it's a little bit worse here than it is against Amulet Titan. It's just a harder matchup, right? Let's try to make those same style of cuts as we did before. Fatal Push is worse here because they don't, pushing Grazer doesn't matter much compared to pushing Tribe Scout. Brutality pretty bad. Whatever, we'll try Shadow Spear. We want to side out the second Scooz or the second Treacherous Blessing. They're just so hard to disrupt that I'm just going to leave the Grizzly Bear in and try to race him. I don't know if this is perfect, but I think the matchup kind of sucks. And I don't think the corner case sideboarding decisions are really going to matter to the point where they decide the game. All right, well, we're going to need a lot of luck here, probably to win both post-side games. But this is a strong hand. Double discard, Trophy Lily, 3 lands. We keep. Only thing we really don't have is a threat. They get to keep a 1-lander because double Once Upon a Time. See, this is why this card's a problem. If this didn't exist, they would be forced to mulligan a 1-lander against us, obviously. But instead, they get to keep it, so I kind of want to take one of them, but at the same time, the second one's kind of bad. So I actually might take Sakura Tribe Elder, just it represents a 3rd land. Yeah, I think that's the play. Don't care about the Dismember right now because we don't have a creature. Hopefully the rest of their hand we can start going to work on with Liliana. We can maybe Thoughtseize Tracker next turn. That card's obviously a problem. Alright, let's begin with the Thoughtseize. Hope they didn't draw Veil of Summer. Okay, they just naturally drew a land. That sucks. Now I actually kind of want to take Summoner's Pact, because that's their top-end payoff, and that can get them Obstinate Baloth against Liliana. So now I think we have to take the Pact. Seems bad leaving them with Tracker, but look. You know, hopefully the clue isn't the game breaker that they'll get if they play at turn 4. We can always edict them, right? Okay, so they kick off their turn 2 with the free cast. Finding Castle, Garenbrig. Then maybe fetching a forest here so that they can play the castle untapped. Indeed. Okay, once more, our fate is kind of in the hands of Liliana of the Vale. And you know what? There are worse places to be, am I right? Inquisition, a good draw. But not one we need to use right now. Simply because we know it's going to have a target next turn of some kind. And them playing Tracker on turn 3 without having ramped is not very good for them. Okay, they're going to Once Upon a Time in a response to the Lily +1. Just finding a snow-covered island. We're going to pitch our swamp. And next turn, I guess one of our best draws, besides like a Haymaker hate card, would just be another land, especially utility land, so we can just Inquisition away whatever they don't play. Trophy utility land, tick up for asymmetrical value. Okay, we did draw the Haymaker. The Fulminator, huh? I actually don't know what to do here. I guess we kind of have to play the Fulminator, right? They're probably going to get rid of Dismember, though. So we can tick up and pitch our trophy. Keep our Fulminator around. Or we can just pitch Inquisition and hope we just work on their hands so well that it doesn't matter. Yeah, we're ticking up. I think I'm pitching Trophy here, but it's a very much a judgment call. Okay, there goes Dismember. So we are going to play Fulminator. We're going to do it on their upkeep. Activate him on the upkeep, that is. Nice. Alright, so we still have Inquisition. They're behind. We've got the Lily. And we draw another Fulminator. Alright, well. That's what we're doing. So bye-bye Inquisition. Feels bad, because we know it's been able to hit at least the tracker this whole time. But I won't complain about hitting back-to-back Fulminators off the top, that's for sure. Nor about having a Liliana on 6. Once more, we upkeep Stone Rain him. Pretty intense game, and that's the scoop. Beautiful. Beauteous. All right. Well, that was the easier one on the play. We never had a threat. We never found our threat, but we did find more disruption. And Liliana is a game ender. So there it is. I just wish that was the end of the series, right? Now what do we do on the draw? Anything different? I don't see anything in the sideboard that I like, except maybe another Treacherous Blessing. You know, in a game that is going like that, Blessing's pretty good. But is it better than anything we're doing already? Is Shadow Spear just too janky in this matchup? Like, I don't know. I still think Shadow Spear might be better than the second Treacherous Blessing. Let's run it back. We won that game. Let's run it back again. Let's just get lucky again, and it won't matter. Uh-oh, OP keeping 7. We're in some trouble when that happens, but our hand is pretty solid. It's a solid keep. It's not perfect. We don't have discard. We don't have... Like, I think Fulminator's harder hate than Ashiok in the context of this matchup. We've drawn Liliana. Liliana might be enough incentive for me to want to skip Hex Drinker. On the other hand, we're either skipping Hex Drinker or Abrupt Decay unless we draw an untapped black land. Somewhere along our curve, we're skipping out on something. Maybe we're supposed to just get our pressure down. You know what? I'm going to go for it. I think I can buy that. And every single turn from here on out can be maximized in terms of mana efficiency by Hexy. There's a lot to be said for that, right? Sakura Tribe Elder, sure. So we don't need to decay that anyway. Could play a Scooz. I'm definitely going to offer the trade here. I would be very happy to use this Hex Drinker as a Stone Rain, which is effectively what that would be. No such luck. Alright, we're definitely just going to get Quagmire down so we can play Lily or Ashiok next turn. We're still kind of powerless against their nut draw, but we have some good cards in our hand. And we've got a body on the field. Okay. Time to jam Lily, hope they don't have a Baloth or the ability to pact for one. That beats us pretty badly. Huh, well, maybe, and they have such a full grip, but they also have such a slow development. Maybe that beats us so badly that we're just supposed to jam Ashiok instead. Could also just play Field of Ruin. But I think we need to play an Ashiok this turn. Let's begin with an attack. I'm going to play Ashiok. Alright, so are we risking the natural Obstinate Baloth with Lily? I think they might have cast it if they had it. They're just not doing anything else, right? Then again, we kind of should probably field this turn. They have double Breeding Pool. Yeah, I kind of just want to field Valakut, then either put Hex Drinker to 3 or play Ooze. I think on average it's better to try to start putting this thing toward protection from everything, because that is a way to realistically beat zombies. But it is higher risk, and yeah, we just got a little bit blown out by Dismember, but really, that's not that bad. Hex Drinker, traded 1 for 1 and did 6 damage, that's fine. Okay, we got 2 lilies now, so no real choice but to go in on 1 at this stage. Hope they don't have the Baloth they've been slow rolling, right? Summoner's Pact. Well, that was shut off by Ashiok, conveniently enough. And I guess we just play our Grizzly Bear. Okay. They've made all of their land drops kind of uncontested. But right now they don't seem to have too much in the way of payoffs. I don't know if I'm supposed to pitch Liliana or Abrupt Decay here, but I do kind of like the draw of Hex Drinker, I'm not going to lie. So let's take up... I'm going to pitch Decay. 1, 2, 3, 4 levels on Hexy. Yeah, I think that's just fine to put all levels into Hexy. Hour of Promise was also shut off by Ashiok. But if we go Hex Drinker, eat 1 thing, put 3 levels on, we can make it level 8 next turn. Anyway, just take everything, but maybe we do that. All right, guys, all right. Oh no, they have Field of the Dead. They have the Field of the Dead. But we've got a big old Hexy. And they scoop? They scoop? They don't have outs to level 8 Hex Drinker, I guess. Or maybe they do, but they just forgot about them and just got tilted by the Hex Drinker. Either way, guys. Ho, 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 ho. We also had drawn Field of the Dead, which would have made for a really interesting turn. Do we put it to level 8 and just erase, or do we take the opportunity to field the field? Doesn't matter, didn't have to think. We win 3-0 with Treacherous Golgari. This is fun, guys. I've been like 3-2ing almost every league lately with really bad variance. Like, it feels like if we just get a little bit of good luck, we're going to start cruising. Hopefully this is that league. I hope it's that league. I hope I didn't just jinx it. But either way, Pete, we cashed your league already. We're just playing for the higher tiers of glory for in the final 2 rounds. You love to see it. And this has been a perfect blend, because of course, against these big mana decks, the core green-black rock strategy has proven competitive. They're still bad matchups. I think we're still unfavored, but like our fields, our discard, our Liliana, Ashiok Fulminator, this stuff pulling its weight like you would not believe. And then in round 1 against Ponza, we were carried to some degree anyway by the Treacherous Blessing Vraska Golgari Queen. Little synergy there, so this has been an awesome league. May it continue for the final 2 rounds. Hey, while we're all in a good mood, I'm going to tell you to check out my sponsor, Brian Palmer of BrianPalmerArt.com. He does awesome stuff. Tokens, playmats, commissions, all kinds of good, realistic, evocative, beautiful, fantastical Magic the Gathering related art. And you get a 10% off discount by using the code GrimflareMTG. All that info's in the description. Please do check it out. I know a lot of you have. Thanks for that. Yeah, if you're like, I want to see your guys' merch. If if you did order something, maybe if you're on Patreon, you can post it there. That'd be pretty cool to start seeing what some of you have bought. I know that many of you have. So thanks, and please do check that out. It's a win-win-win for all parties. And let's play round 4. It's a keeper. Opponent will mulligan. Of course, another synergy is one we have in hand. You can make clues with Tracker and then sacrifice them with Vraska. And that is a free roll. Like, you get the card, you get the counter, you didn't have to spend the 2 mana. It's not like more value than you already had on the table in a strict sense, but it is very, very efficient, very tempo positive. Opponent mulligan all the way down to 4. Obviously, that's pretty good. If it's Tron, we're still extremely soft to it. If it's Dredge, maybe we can beat Dredge game 1 with a Scooz on the play. Those are the 2 decks I usually think of when I think of somebody mulling to 4. But of course, it is possible they're on a more fair deck, and they just got really unlucky. So, opponent hesitating on the end step. Maybe they think they know we're on a BGX deck based on this, and they just don't want to show us what they're playing. Maybe they thought about going to game 2. I don't know. But that's an explanation, potentially, for that hesitation there. Merfolk Secret Keeper. So this is Crabvine. And we have to hope they don't have a nut draw here off of this hit. They're tanking about what to play. They might have a Hedron Crab in hand too. So they hit Vengevine. That is scary. I have not seen Fate Stitcher in this deck before. I don't know what that does. But Vengevine, Carrion Feeder. Pretty typical stuff. So, Scooz on the play, backed up by Push. It's pretty much where we want to be in game 1. Let's hope it's good enough. So this is a adventure card, Mill 4, followed by an O4. It's a pretty good card in their deck, I'm not going to lie. They got Supplier. Okay. Hope they don't have another blue spell. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, wait, yeah, they do, of course. That one we knew about. So they get the Vine. But, you know, we get to make Scooz a 4/4 this turn. It's still pretty good for us. And we even draw a 3rd green source, and they do have 3 green things already in the yard. So I think what we're supposed to do is attack. Are we? Are we winning this race? I think we probably are. Then again, they probably don't have removal main deck. They're just going to block. So the almost we hope they would block here with Secret Keeper. Or with Supplier, so we can deal with its trigger on our own terms when we have a bunch of free mana. But you know what? I think I'm just going to say go. I think if we just play conservatively here, we're pretty favored. We're also just holding up all of our effects that way. Might be better to nab something on the stack this turn. And if they have an answer to Scooz, we probably don't win whether we attacked this turn or not. Aha, I didn't notice this has Unearth. So we can respond to this, I guess. Unearth only is a sorcery. Yeah, okay. Okay. Yeah, so again, this is my first time seeing this card in the deck. As far as I know, it's more of a combo card. But yeah, I could see just playing it as an unearth. A way to get more value out of the yard and to trigger more things. More of the usual suspects. They're turning them all sideways. So the obvious thing to do is to just eat 2 creatures and block the Vengevine. I guess I'm going to do that. Like, it does put us shields down. It's not ideal, but that's just, like, very good. And I do not imagine that they're going to be able to get it back this turn. And even if they do, I still think we can beat it. And they just concede. All right. Desperation attack. Cool. Stealing game 1 from Crabvine, guys, that's really, really nice. Our luck has been amazing this league. You can't deny that. Again, long may it continue. We certainly get way better post side. We want Grafdigger's Cage, Nile Spellbomb for sure. Ashiok for sure. I can see stuff like Shadow Spear and Kitchen Finks being decent, but Finks non-bows with Cage, and Shadow Spear is just a little conditional. I think Plague Engineer is Plague Engineer where we want to be? I'm getting confused now because I've been playing a little bit more Pioneer. So I've got Dredgeless Dredge and Modern Dredge and Modern Crabvine all kind of mixed up in my head. So I'm going to try to look up a list real quick here on my phone to see if Plague Engineer is really where we want to be. Either way, we're going to have a lot to do in this matchup. Hedron Crab's a nostalgic card for me. It's cool to see it in like a top-tier Modern deck because, as many noobs do, when I was first new to Modern, I was like, I'm going to make a mill deck. And of course, Hedron Crab, very good in mill too. So, let's see here. Yeah, I mean, just like naming Zombie gets the Carrion Feeder, the Grave Crawler, the Stitcher Supplier. Obviously, some of those can get bigger or can get value on dying, but I still think that's good enough. It's going to shrink Amalgam too. Can also name Narcomoeba, name Illusion. What I couldn't remember is if Bloodghast was in this list. Doesn't seem to be. But if they happen to have Bloodghast, of course, that's pretty good too. So Brutality is playable as well, killing Hedron Crab, taking away answers out of their hand. In terms of what we don't like, Liliana can go. I think we need to cut the Treacherous Blessing here. One, if not both, Vraska. Vraska and Thrun pretty bad. Tireless Tracker pretty slow. We're at 60 right now. I'm going to cut Thrun, bring in a Shadow Spear, and I'm going to cut Tracker, bring in a Brutality, and I'm not going to play Finks. Might be a little arbitrary, but I am running out of time, so let's do that, and we can always revise our opinion post-side. I think Finks is fine, but again, non-bow with Cage, that's a fine enough reason to leave it out too, right? So we've got a whole lot of Grave Hate. On the draw, we probably want to mulligan a little bit aggressively toward it. This is a tough one because we have one piece of Grave Hate and it's our slowest one. But we also have Inquisition and they mulligan. And we have Fatal Push if they lead on Crab. And Goyf is really good. So I keep this hand, I suppose. But you can understand why, under other circumstances, we might be interested in mulling it. In other words, it's not a keep simply because it has Ashiok on the draw. You know what I mean? Okay, opponent mulled to 5. More good news for us. I hope they play a Crab. Hope that you play a Crab and not a Merfolk Secret Keeper. Stitcher Supplier is always the worst. It's always the one you want to fade. So now we're going to Inquisition, I suppose. Obviously, it comes with a few risks here, but it's the play. It's the play to make. Okay, we get a Milten out of their hand. That's really good. So they have absolutely nothing right now. They have a 1-1 with a death trigger. They're in top deck mode, but they immediately hit the crab. Oh, that sucks. That really sucks, guys. Unlucky. But, you know, we can push the crab. Maybe they'll brick. They do brick. Wow. They got nothing in there. What did they use? They used Polluted Delta, so their hand is Bloodstained Mire. So now we're going to push the crab, hopefully draw our third land. We did. All right. They fetch main phase. What do they have that costs 3? Is this a hard cast Amalgam? It is. Alright. So we're going to fetch as well. Get our tomb as painlessly as possible. And then, you know, I think I might just jam a Tarmogoyf rather than playing Ashiok on curve. They don't have that much in the graveyard I care about. I think that's the better play. The scoop! The scoop! They didn't even make us play it out. They just had nothing. They bricked pretty hard. Yeah, a great draw of Hedron Crab for the opponent on turn 2. Absolutely perfect with a couple fetch lands in hand. But besides that, their luck was miserable. So we'll take it, guys. We will take it. This is why Tarmogoyf is so good, because sometimes it's even better than your hate cards, even in a really linear matchup. And if we had played Ashiok, you know, we tick down to 4, and then Ashiok dies on the crackback, and the game goes on. And we didn't really do all that much to their graveyard that way, but Goyf just makes them want to pack it in when they brick for turn. So, yeah. Whoa, uh-oh. I'm not even going to say it out loud, but you know what territory we're approaching. We are 4-0 with Treacherous Golgari. And life is good. Life is good, my friends. As always, I hope you are enjoying this. Matchmaker taking it sweet time here. Surely trying, just like running the algorithm here, trying to find another opponent that will mull to oblivion for us. Really appreciate that. Really appreciate you looking out for me, Matchmaker. Okay, here we go. Winning the die roll. We'll keep. The mana's awkward, but it's a pretty good hand. Opponent says, hey, good luck. Good luck, have fun. If the client stops lagging. Alright, opponent mulling to 6. I guess we get basic swamp here. It's probably less likely to punish us than fetching and shocking is. Okay. Archmage's Charm, Ensnaring Bridge, Thopter Foundry, War of Invention. I think we just take Thopter Foundry here. So we are against Whirza, the Thopter Sword combo featuring Urza. We have Collective Brutality to beat War of Invention. And we have Vraska Golgari Queen to beat Ensnaring Bridge. So the only question is, do we Brutality now? I think we might kind of have to, because Archmage's Charm might be online. Well, maybe not, actually. We're on the play, after all. Alright. Yeah, let's get our scoos down. Again, wish this was a Goyf, right? Okay, opponent drew a third land. We are unable to cast Lily at the moment. So we Brutality. Yeah, I think we just take the Whir. Like, I kind of want to take the 2-for-1 of Archmage's Charm, but a little softer to the combo than I'd prefer to be. So our best draw by far is an untapped black land because it, of course, unlocks both Liliana and Vraska. If not, we legit might just fire up Treetop and go to Beattown. Do they get their bridge down? Oh, they get Emery? Okay. Really want to draw a black land now. Black land. Dang. Emery is so annoying when Fatal Push doesn't kill her. I really can't stand it. Really hate to see it. But, you know, Ooze does disrupt, but it just means we're time-walking ourselves, basically, to just play around Emery. But I guess that's still pretty good. Yeah, I guess we're just playing Ooze. Or just using Ooze. And holding up Fatal Push. Feels bad against the deck that has such a good top end. They play Urza. They play 2-for-1s. They have a combo. Really wish like we could have just slammed Liliana on turn 3 and then been taking it from there. But Treetop Village is greatness at any cost in its own way, right? Replacing the Bob. Okay, so opponent moving to second main, clearly kind of hesitating in terms of what to do here. They do get the bridge down, sure. Alright, so we're going to fight over this Executioner's Capsule here. And then we're just going to keep eating artifacts. Then they'll bauble us, so they know that we drew Inquisition. Well, we'll get that Archmage's Charm out of their hand. It's pretty good. And then once again, we are just playing chicken with our Ooze. I'm just going to eat the bauble right now, because clearly that's the card to beat. We still have one activation left. Alright, well, Ooze actually doing a lot of work here. I mentioned how I wish I had a Tarmogoyf, but since we haven't hit our land to beat this Ensnaring Bridge yet, Ooze is actually way better, because we're soft to Bridge and Emery. Yeah, we got no choice but to compete over this. So opponent had 2 draws this turn. Land plus... Ooh. Fetching right now. What does that mean? Fetching for a tapped breeding pool? I do not understand. Alright, we draw Maelstrom Pulse. That's a good card, but I actually don't think I'm going to use it yet. Like, we could be running it into permission. Like, what are we going to do? Pulse the bridge and start hitting for 2 per turn? Then we're shields down against an Emery activation. I think we just say go here. This really sucks, though. I think it's actually better to consider just jamming Tracker. What if we just jam Tracker? That way land drops get even better for us. Like, they would have to have permission here to punish us, and then I guess Emery probably isn't amazing next turn unless they have permission into, like, Bauble. Alright, we're going for the Tracker. Just can't keep doing nothing for this long. And we can draw that black land any day now. Any day now we can draw a black land. Opponent again fetching main phase, but what does it mean this time? Tezzeret? Yeah, that sucks. We got an answer to him, but... Oh, they found the Bauble. Come on. Come on. Oh, but they don't use it with Emery? Okay. Playing around discard, I guess. We hit the 4th land. There it is. There it is. So now we can crack clue. It's gonna. Yeah, we can't. It's gonna say crack clue, push, attack Tezzeret. I guess we're gonna ignore the Emery for a turn. I guess we're just gonna play either Vraska or Pulse on the bridge and just turn him sideways. Yeah, and I think it's going to be Vraska, because if they want to attack her off the field with Emery rather than activating Emery, I think that's pretty fine. So let's decay Ensnaring Bridge, attack Tezzeret. Boy, am I glad we played Tracker last turn. So this way, either way, we get a permanent we want to get off the field. I might just let Tezzeret go here, to be honest. Yep. Okay. So the opponent has 2 draws here, and they also get to loop Bauble. So opponent going to have a good turn. Almost certainly. But you know what? So did we. And now we're operational. Now lands are gas, and we already have a handful of gas. We have a great board. Think we're at the position where we're kind of making the OP have it. And they do attack Vraska, as predicted. I think that's fine for us. Obviously, Vraska very good with Tracker and in general in this matchup, but I think that's all right. Uh-oh. What the heck? Another whir? Maybe they just whir for a bridge. It's gotta be whir, right? Or did they play that? Whatever. Let's make a clue. Lands a good draw. I think we're just attacking and saying go for now, but if they obviously do anything, that can change. Alright, they didn't do anything. I kind of wanted to try to get something out of their hand that way. I think we're supposed to Fatal Push Emery. So, yeah, once again, we should have done this probably before damage, but in this case, I think, like, just making them make the decision is totally fine. Alright, we drew another Lily. I guess maybe we just Lily the Emery away. Paying costs in response to the edict. Okay, they do have a Whir of Invention. They're whirring for 2. Don't know what this means. Okay, Thopter Foundry, so they're just going to try to top deck the combo. Oh, no, okay. Yeah, they make a... Okay, I should not have lilied, I should have pushed. Didn't think of that. Oh my god, the Mystic Sanctuary, my most hated card for a Whir of Invention. Okay. So, well, the reason I cracked the clue, I was hoping to draw, like, Decay or Trophy in case something like this happened. I guess Fatal Push, maybe not changing all that much. Obviously, getting the Emery gone would be nice, but now they get to Whir for the combo. And we do at least have Pulse for it, but it's a big setback. Oh, and Snaring Bridge off of Emery, sure. Hissing Quagmire, so I'm going to take up, lose my other Lily. They'll Whir. Well, what if we Pulse and Snaring Bridge? Do we have lethal? If we Pulse... Yeah, they got... They can make a Thopter. Which we can Fatal Push. I think we just need to kill the Thopter, but then Emery just plays it again. And we don't quite have enough mana to crack Clue and push and pulse, because we needed a Revolt. We need to Revolt this turn. What if we Field of Ruin? 3, no. So do we have to crack a Clue and try to draw Decay? Man, this is too much for me at the very end of the league. I'm not gonna lie. I guess cracking a Clue is pretty good here. Thrum the last troll, not the draw we were hoping for, is it? As far as I can tell, pushing Emery is pretty much as good here as taking care of the Foundry. They're going to get a turn of these activations, but they'd get it anyway by buying it back with Emery. Ooh, oh man. Oh, I think I punted. It's just too much going on right now. I should have pulsed it and then just eaten it with Ooze before they got to go again. That was the play. All right, well, I still think our position's actually pretty decent, but that was the play. This is the type of thing where, like, if I'm not playing, I don't feel as conscious about taking more time, and it's also easier to think without talking, so I think I would have seen that. I'm sure I would have seen it, because I saw it right after I did it, right? So hopefully that doesn't cost us. My bad, guys. My bad. They found a land. Good, good. And we can't really yield to these triggers because it could come up that the Ooze is able to eat it at an opportune time. It's not going to happen this turn unless the opponent really punts, right? This Polluted Delta, though, that could be a Mystic Sanctuary that they're representing. I'm just going to crack Clue on the end step. I think that's good enough, even though it goes shields down. It lets them technically get one other free activation and maybe go get Mystic Sanctuary, if that's what their plan is. But it's better to just crack a Clue. All right. I think I'm actually just going to Edict a Thopter here. And play a Goyf. Ooh, wrong lands. Play a Goyf holding up one Ooze activation. Trying to draw an answer to Ensnaring Bridge. We do have a lot in the deck. We've got another Vraska. Okay, I'm probably competing over this Mystic Sanctuary, but it's not totally free to do so. Yeah, they're buying back Whir. We gotta do that. Okay, Ooze has been very good this game, no matter how it pans out. And this is going super long. We're behind on the clock. I gotta play quicker here. But it's risky, you know, the opponent's probably just going to try to race us. But we drawn out to the bridge, and that's game, basically. Or literally. Close enough. Yeah, they leave one back for that reason, makes sense. What did they find for turn? Pithing Needle. Interesting. naming Skoos. Yeah, that's actually rough, because that was our way to stay in the game in terms of life gain. So now what? I kind of want to activate Castle Lock Thwain, but losing 4 life seems loose. Man, if we lose to Bridge, I'm going to be tilted here. But I guess, if so, it'll be my fault. We did have the line, if I'm reading it all correctly. So I guess we just go wide here. Next turn, between Castle, 1, 2, 3, 4. Between Castle and our draw step, we'll have 2 chances to beat the Bridge. So now that we found a land, I guess cracking a clue's better. Tarmogoyf. Alright, now I think we're supposed to... I guess just field to make another clue, because we're not dead this turn, because we didn't have to activate Castle. And I think it's going to be better to pass bluffing and holding up clue here. Just getting that 1 extra crack at a bridge next turn, at an out to bridge next turn, than it is to play yet another Tarmogoyf. There's actually only 1 creature in all of these graveyards, so like, it's not like Skoos would be keeping us in the game any longer, right? Okay, we're going to go to 1. And we even have Inquisition to beat Permission. We just gotta find an out. Come on, Abrupt Decay. Oh, Marsh Flats. Overgrown Tomb. Come on. Okay, we dig. Abrupt Decay, Abrupt Decay, Abrupt Decay. Oof. We're for 3 in response? Maybe we don't beat this no matter what. It's a pretty rough last card to have. Alright. So brutal, guys. So brutal. I have to look back at this, but like I said, I think I left the more... I think I overthought it, left the more obvious line of Pulse It, Eat It with Skoos on the table. Again, it's the hazard of talking. I think we've been playing pretty well today, but that might have been a punt. Again, need to look back, but a little bit rough, Ashiok attacks the graveyard and shuts off Whir, but I don't know if we want all 3. I do know that we want Collector, Oof, Plague Engineer. I guess Collective Brutality to take away Whir and to kill Emery is pretty solid. Veil of Summer is a maybe. It's a maybe as far as I'm concerned. I guess Nile Spellbomb can be a maybe too. Okay. I'm considering moving away from Hex Drinker. It can be a liability against Archmage's Charm. It's another matchup where we unfortunately don't really get a lot of mileage out of Thrun. Liliana's pretty medium. I'll probably cut 2, maybe 3. I could see cutting a Tracker too, because it non-bows with Oof, but we only have 1 Oof. And Skoos was pretty fine there, but do we need all 3? Maybe not. So Let's definitely bring in these 4 cards. I think we're going to leave in the Blessing and Vraska package. All of it. Vraska's great here. Blessing seems okay. You know, I didn't see Metallic Rebuke. I just don't know if we want Veil of Summer. I think I'm going to probably leave it out on the play, just be more proactive. So the second Liliana can stay on the play. I think like 2 Ashiok is a pretty fine number. I could see 3 being just too cute. But in you know, dead in multiples, again, you want to be a little bit wary of the static hate pieces, right? But, yeah, well, I think 1 Nile Spellbomb is probably better than the 3rd Ashiok because it does cantrip. Again, a non-bow with oof, but, you know, these non-bows are pretty minor because if we've got an uncontested oof, we're doing okay. It's the first time in forever I've played with only 1 oof in my deck. Unfortunate to run into this when that's the case. So 1 lander with a high curve, I guess we maul. Alright, it's a 2 lander with oof. We'll keep it. We've got a lot of stuff to like here. We, in fact, have so much to like that I might bottom the Tarmogoyf. It's either Goyf or Ashiok that we bottom. I'm going to bottom Ashiok, though. It's not big mana, it's not a Primeval Titan deck. Ashiok is not as good here as it is there. It's still definitely good, but we don't want to just have, like, no threat if they have a single Fatal Push. So, okay, it's oof time. Just gonna make him have something. Obviously, if we had discard to lead on, this would be really good. But we did not. Okay, opponent bobbled us, but then fetched on their own. So that's a little bit concerning. It means they probably have a hand that they don't really need to sculpt. Otherwise, they probably, like if they were desperate for an answer, they would have bobbled themselves and then decided whether or not to fetch based on that. Alright. Fetching. Pithing Needle. Okay. On ooze, and then nothing on oof yet. We promptly draw an ooze. Well, that sucks, but I guess Tarmogoyf is the play here. Especially if they have Fatal Push. Yeah, that's rough. Okay, I kind of thought they did, but was hoping they didn't. Yep. Pretty horrendous stuff. I think it's better to jam Goyf here than to jam Treacherous Blessing, because our life total, we can play with it, but it's not something we should be that cavalier with. We just want to be more proactive than that, you know? Goyf is big now. It's the only upside of them pushing our oof. They've got Emery. Okay. They're protecting themselves from the ooze in our hand. Oh my god. The flood. The flood is real. I should have played Fetch Land here, actually, in case I drew Fatal Push. So I could push Emery and then attack. I mean, draw 3 is pretty solid here, don't get me wrong. Okay, we just draw kind of more of the same stuff we already have, which is actually pretty bad just because they're probably about to get the combo online. But we've seen 3 more cards than we otherwise would have, right? And they can always just buy back Ensnaring Bridge. That's kind of risky, though, because they spend their whole turn doing that. They give us another chance to find outs to their graveyard and to their Emery, and we're a deck full of answers to Ensnaring Bridge. We shouldn't be losing to this card that often, even though we did in Game 1. Yep, they're going for the bridge. Okay, well, our hand does very little until we can answer this bridge, and they find Assassin's Trophy. Or they buy back Assassin's Trophy, excuse me, with the Sanctuary, so that'll be on top. Just lands, man, just lands and lands. Lands and more lands. Do we jam another Treacherous Blessing here? Another draw 3. So we'll be taking 1, maybe 2 from our land, and then we'll be taking 2 for every spell we cast from here on out. It's just like playing Havoc with our life total, but we don't have anything in hand. We have 6 cards and like nothing good right now. So yeah. YOLO. Yes, I lose a life. Well, we got a full grip. We drew Collective Brutality. That's actually a wonderful draw. We're going to fully escalate it right now. And we still do not have an out to the bridge, which is very annoying. But it's a good turn nevertheless. We whiff. Pretty rough. They have Whirza. Pretty rough. At least Emery's gone, but we got to beat the bridge, and now we got to beat Whirza too. And again, we just have been drawing basically bricks. They've had a really good curve out specifically because they had Fatal Push into an unanswered Emery. Pithing Needle, low-key awesome for them here right now too. So now we need to draw all kinds of stuff. Our first priority is to kill the Whirza. Just try to outgrind the opponent. But the longer it goes on, the more treacherous our blessings become. And they also top deck very well. So, they're going Collective Brutality? Wow. Wow, I didn't expect that. They whiff in return. Thanks for that. We draw Ashiok. Reasonable. I think the first thing we're going to do, though, is crack Peatland and try to find, like, a Thoughtseize or a Vraska or a Pulse or Trophy or Decay or anything. Anything at all? No? Alright, so do we go wide or do we play an Ashiok here? I can't believe how badly we're bricking, my dudes. Can't believe it. I'm going to go wide. I guess I'm just auto-yielding to these. I forgot all about the clock, too. Alright, play quickly. Playing real quick now. But our position right now is it's just bad because we bricked for so long. Like, by all rights, we've had a lot of things kind of go our way, and it's been fine. I probably should have got Swamp there. I'm just trying to play quickly now. Didn't really think. They trophied our Castle Lock Thwain, which is very interesting and probably the right play, to be honest. They show us a fetch land we didn't know they had, so we still know about that Prismatic Vista. Unless I mistracked the hand. They find Whir off of Whirza. Brutal. Only getting Bauble. Guess Whir for 0 is... But that punishes us for not playing Ashiok last turn. We draw Fatal Push. Okay. Good. We're going to lose to our own treacherous blessings, though, unless we find something real good real quick. I think Vraska's our best draw because she can take care of our blessings and take care of their bridge. We got to play Ashiok, though. Opponent heads up play of fetching before Ashiok resolves, which would be definitely something easy to forget with this complicated board state that's gone on for this long. We probably can't cast any other spells until we find one that actually takes care of the things we need to take care of, which is obviously a pretty bad position to be in, right? Okay, there's that Vista. Hey, Uru's gonna attack, but not into the construct. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, what's going on? Okay, they've got something, obviously. Oh, it's just the trophy on Ashiok. Yeah. I don't know if it was correct to play another Ashiok due to that. If they have top-decked another word to punish us, then I guess so be it. Again, I don't think we can play into our blessing any more than we already have. If Needle wasn't naming Skoos, we would have 1, 2, 3 more life in the tank. We can't play that Thoughtseize. We're going to go to 3 if we do. Just literally trying to draw an ensnaring or an abrupt decay or any other effect to win the game. How many do we have in our deck? How many do we have in our deck? We've got 1 million of them. We've been halfway through our deck. We haven't seen it. Liliana. Yes, I will play Lily. Lily's worth playing. Lily can win us this game. No, what? How the... I swear I didn't do anything to skip through that turn. Oh my god, that is a disaster. That is a freaking disaster. I literally wasn't hitting any button. Did my 2-key stick? That's the stupidest thing I have ever seen in my entire life. But they have a Thopter Foundry, so I guess it's academic, because Liliana's not good against that anyway. So again, we're back to just trying to draw Abrupt Decay, and we don't. Alright, well, we are dead. Because we've gone through half of our deck and have not found an out to this stupid ensnaring bridge. But opponent didn't make any tokens on the end step, so there's that. I'm just going to 6 through the turn now, with respect to the clock. It's possible that we decide we want to go to 3 for a fatal push for some reason, but I do doubt it. Pithing Needle on Liliana. Okay. So our mishap with Lily, I don't think affected the game in any way. Abrupt Decay. Come on! What? Alright, well, we're going to escalate all 3 modes, I guess, here. Binning Ashiok at this point. Don't think we can afford to cast that card with Treacherous Blessing around. I think we just have to make them have Whir, and if they have Whir, they're just going to Whir in response to Brutality anyway. So, if they top deck a Whir, so be it, right? We get Dead of Winter. They have another Thopter Foundry in hand. Do they have a third Mystic Sanctuary? No, they do not. Well, we're at the point where if we do somehow take them to game 3... Nah, they're just going to go for the kill here. If they just go for the kill here, there's nothing we can do about it. I'm going to turn off auto yields just to make them think twice before committing. But, okay, no kill. No kill this turn. But I guess we're locked out now if they hit us for 3, because we're dead to our own Treacherous Blessing if we find an out. Oh, what a tilt! Okay, so 3 all coming at us. We go to 2. We can't cast. We push 1 now. We're even worse off. Alright. If we draw a decay effect now, so help me God. Oh, man. Well, we lose. We draw land anyway. GG's. Alright, so that was brutal. That was a brutal way to end the league, but what a successful league, and you know what? We might have been live for the 5-0, but I think we lose this game, and then the last game we're on the draw, it's whatever. Who knows? Who knows how it would all have gone? But I do believe I made that one misplay that proved to be a little costly, but I'll have to look back at that. I don't want to dwell on it, though. Like, I try to strike the balance between playing a variety of content for you and playing in such a way that's entertaining. Like, I don't like to sit there and say almost nothing so that I get that extra 5% of hyper-focus on every possible line. I think the trade-off is worth it, so occasionally I leave a game win on the table in favor of that. I hope you guys don't mind. I hope you appreciate it. I hope it's better for you than me playing with a lot more silence and maybe having seen that line. But either way, maybe there's other lines I missed throughout the league. As always, you can let me know what you saw. Pete, my friend, we were really good for the 4-1 with your spice today with Treacherous Golgari. I do hope this was worth it for you. For those of you who want to know how donation leagues work, I'll put a link to the Patreon post explaining that in the description below. Pete is a Patreon supporter, so every dollar you donate on Patreon accumulates toward the donation league threshold, which is $50. Or you can just PayPal me $50 if you want that. If you want a donation league and you're not on Patreon, that's totally cool too. Or you can do what Pete did, which is earn the bulk of it through Patreon and then send me the rest directly to get a quicker league. So that's how they work. Check that out if you want. And if you do enjoy this content, my friends, please do consider supporting me on Patreon. I have said from day one that the more support I get, the more time I will make for the channel. And I think you can confirm that I have been working my butt off here to bring you as much content as I possibly can in my busy life. And don't get me wrong, it's a pleasure and it's a great time, and I wouldn't have it any other way. You know, I don't get much time off, but this is basically my second job now, and it's the most fun job ever. So thank you so much to everybody doing that. Thank you so much for watching. Guys, let it rip in the comments. Let me know what you think about Treacherous Golgari. I'm sure Pete will be watching the comments to see if you have any spicy suggestions for more synergies with that package, or just a different tweak to the list to maybe emphasize that package, or your thoughts on it in general would be pretty cool. But you know what? We got our fair share of good luck today. Let's not skate past that either. I don't think that the Treacherous Blessing package like swings big mana into our favor or anything like that. So we needed our share of good fortune to come away with the 4-1 anyway. And you know what? We were very, very close to competing for that 5-0 too. So great league, great time. Thanks again for watching. Stay tuned. I don't know what we're doing next. Probably Mono Red Prowess. It's been a little while since we did that. And as always, more Jund, more Rock, more Pioneer, Mono Black aggro. It is all good, guys. So thank you so much for watching. Thanks to the Patreon supporters. Thanks to the viewers. Please subscribe, thumbs up, leave a comment, all the rest. And thanks again to Pete. I will talk to you soon. Hope everybody out there has a wonderful day.